You know, it's not just the Biden administration that is stonewalling investigations, requiring the Congress to formally launch an impeachment inquiry. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey's investigation into Washington University in St. Louis over their practices regarding irreversible, life-altering transgender procedures on minors is also being stonewalled. Washington University has refused to release information to the state of Missouri, which resulted in Attorney General Bailey filing a lawsuit. Now, there actually may be more to this, as someone may be telling them not to comply. Who could that someone be? Join me now to discuss this and more is Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. General Bailey, welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me on.
So, General, let's talk about this lawsuit. This has been ongoing. This has been an investigation into the practices of Washington University in St. Louis, that questionable practices, I should say, regarding minors and transgender surgeries and treatments. What information have they blocked you from obtaining?
Well, these were deplorable child mutilation factories that were operating across the state. A whistleblower came forward back in February and caused us to launch an investigation into the clinic in St. Louis. And the allegations the whistleblower made were very specific and very credible. And so we began obtaining evidence from the clinic. The clinic was at first cooperative. And so we got several tranches of documents that we've been able to go through, but it led us to some different angles of our investigation. And so we've followed up with additional requests for documentation. The problem is that suddenly, after agreeing to turn over the second tranche of documents, the clinic has now said that they can't because of HIPAA. We have reason to believe that the federal government has whispered in the ears of the clinicians and told them not to comply with our investigation, yet HIPAA has an explicit exception for state regulators who are investigating these types of abuses. So we're entitled to these documents legally, and we filed suit to make sure we can obtain the documents and close out our investigation and hold any wrongdoers accountable.
So let me push pause here for just a moment, General Bailey. So could it be the Biden administration is whispering into the ears of Washington University saying, look, we don't think you should be giving these documents over to the Attorney General in his investigation?
That's exactly right. We're going to file a Freedom of Information Act request to try to get to the bottom of it and root out where this is occurring at the federal level. But we have every reason to believe this is originating at the federal government, and they're trying to use HIPAA as an excuse to shut down this investigation. And it's consistent with the radical transgender ideology that the Biden administration has pushed on schools, has pushed on businesses, has pushed on colleges and universities, has pushed on public restrooms. So it would not surprise us at all to learn that this is the case. And we'll continue to fight back. This lawsuit and our Freedom of Information Act requests are the best tools that we have at our disposal at the present time to accomplish just that.
Well, not only is this consistent with their ideological bent of promoting this, but it's also consistent with their tactics of delaying and stonewalling, forcing people to go through circuitous routes to try to get this information, all with the hopes that the clock will run out or they'll go away.
Well, the bad news for them, I'm not going away. I want Missouri to be the safest state in the nation for children. We've been on this issue since day one when I took office early this year. And we're not going to stop now. Our General Assembly has enacted a statute, and I'm proud to say it put a stop to child sterilization in the state of Missouri. And my office successfully defended that statute from legal attack by the ACLU, and we were the first state in the nation to win at the trial court level on this issue. But that doesn't mean the investigation goes away. Again, if there were child abusers mutilating children in violation of state law, if there were parents that were duped into consenting to these dangerous life-altering procedures without proper consent, we need to know that, and we need to hold wrongdoers accountable. It's important that the public understand what went wrong here so that we can prevent it from ever happening again. So we're not going to let up now.
So let me ask you this, General Bailey. What do you? I'm asking you here to kind of to guess based upon what you've seen thus far in your investigation. What are they hiding? Why are they refusing to turn over? If there's nothing wrong here, if they've done nothing wrong, why would they not turn over this documentation?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look, if the what the whistleblower says is true, and we have reason to believe it is, then that's going to exist in the evidence, in the documentary evidence that we're going to obtain. So that would be the only reason to prevent us from seeing those documents, because they're afraid it's going to corroborate what the whistleblower said when she put her name on an affidavit and swore under penalty of perjury that what the accusations she was making were true. But I would also point out that not only was the whistleblower willing to put her name on the line on an affidavit to initiate this investigation, she testified in the trial where we defended the statute that put an end to these child sterilization procedures and subjected herself to cross-examination. This woman is incredibly credible. She subjected herself to the legal process. And so, again, that would be the only reason they would be trying to hide those documents, is to hide the corroborating evidence.
Well, I am grateful that there are attorneys general at the state level like yourself who are willing to stay on this and expose this type of corruption. I mean, this is. I mean, you've been taking the Biden administration to task on a number of things, but it shows that this is deep, and they're not only affecting the federal policy, but they're now reaching into the states to do the same. General, we're out of time. I want to thank you for joining us. Always great to see you.
Thanks for having me on. Merry Christmas to you.